a live event, a conversation somewhat with Padma Shri Bombay Jayashri Ramnath. And before we go into the actual logistics, so I thought I would share with you a couple of minutes about Aim for Seva. So we are cultivating a bright future by educating rural India, empowering children most in need to blossom and thrive. And we are so fortunate to have Pujya Swami Dayananda Saraswati, whom most of you know. He is the teacher of teachers, having created more than 250 disciples who are all teaching Vedanta all around the world. And Pujya Swamiji is also in the year 2000, he founded Aim for Seva, All India Movement for Seva, to provide an opportunity for people like us to do our seva to the humanity, to the community, especially to educate the children of India in the rural and tribal parts of India. And he founded the organization in the year 2000. Pujya Swamiji always believed that knowledge empowers people. There is nothing more precious than knowledge, whatever that knowledge may be. And he is also an avid admirer of classical music and dance. And he himself has composed about 18 songs in different ragas, which are all getting popular. And it was first popularized by Maharajapuram Santanam himself. And now a lot of songs are available in the Arshavidya Publications Trust website. And so Aim for Seva is 20 years of caring and action, a caring heart. When you have a caring heart, a movement is born. And when a movement is born, a nation is transformed. So we just completed 20 years of Aim for Seva, caring and action. We have more than 136 projects across 16 states of India, serving about 2,300 villages. We have more than 100 Chatralaya. Chatralaya is nothing but a free student hostel, where we build a hostel very in close proximity to an existing government school, so that all the children from the rural and tribal India can stay in this hostel and go to the school. We provide holistic education to them, from yoga to meditation to prayerful life to music and dance, and of course the regular education. They stay with us in this hostel for the entire 7 years. They come to us in the 5th grade, and we make sure they graduate from 12th grade. After that, we also have a college in Manjakudi, which is the birthplace of Pujya Swami Dayananda Saraswati, where we have a beautiful college for boys and girls, where you can even get a PhD degree. And also we have a Wipro back office center there, so people can get an employment. So we take the children all the way to the finish line by giving them the education and the opportunity to get on-campus recruitment. So we also run 7 schools, 6 schools and 1 college, and also 6 healthcare facilities and 19 other projects. This is some of the statistics. We believe that we have impacted over 20 million people in the last 20 years, and we serve 5 million meals per year to all the children. And we are serving 2,300 villages, and we are educating over 9,000 students per year. And I'm very glad to say more than 95% of our students who take the 10th grade and 12th grade pass the exams. They graduate, and then they go into college. And in the last 3 years, over 800 students have got on-campus employment with Sundaram Finance, TVS, TCS, Infosys, Wipro, and a few other organizations. So as Swamiji says, Dhanam is twice blessed. It blesses the one who gives and the one who receives. So we are so blessed that we are in a position to give. And if anybody is interested in contributing and becoming part of the movement, you can visit aimforsevausa.org. Before I go into the actual one, I have an upcoming event on April 17th to celebrate New Year. As you know, April 14th is our actual New Year according to our Indian calendar. And then we are bringing a live event of Abby V. He is a singer from Toronto and is an upcoming star. And he is going to sing some songs, including some of Pujya Swami Dayananda Saraswati's compositions, a medley of the songs in different ragas, and he's going to elaborate on the ragas. And then it's also going to be an interactive session on April 17th. We will share with you more details as it appears. Now, it is my great pleasure to introduce it to you, the chairperson and managing trustee of Aim for Seva, Srimati Sheila Balaji, who is with us here. I'm so glad that she is part of this organization, providing some excellent leadership and inspiration to all the people in India and across the globe. And she has been personally involved with this organization right from the beginning. And one of the highlights of her, the government of India recognized her yeoman service to the humanity by awarding her the Nari Shakti Puraskar Award. And we are so glad to introduce Sheila ji today, and she will be giving the opening remarks for our program today. So with that, I request Sheila ji to give the opening remarks. And then after that, of course, we'll have Shri Bombay Jayashri, the main event. Sheila ji.
Yeah, thank you very much, Srini. Namaskar to everyone. Good evening and good morning to people who are here in India. It is really a great pleasure, and thank you so much for all those nice words, Srini, and particularly for the beautiful coverage of Manjakudi and Aim for Seva, both which are, what shall I say, the two eyes, for as far as I'm concerned, for Swamiji's organizations. Among them, I think these are the two eyes, because they see the world and bring them home. It has been a great, I would say it is a privilege to be with Swamiji's work and with the Aim for Seva and Manjakudi. Both more or less came at the same time. There was not much of a time lag. And I still remember when I got into Aim for Seva and I to try and help in some way. And when Swamiji was he said, no, it will do very well. This whole place is blessed. And I think truly, wherever Swamiji had stepped, I think that place is so blessed. Because at Manjakudi, it is really an ideal village, I would say. Swamiji would, in fact, when he talks about Manjakudi, he would say, Manjakudi is a place where everything is where it should be. In fact, in Tamil, you say, that is, on the northeast, you have the pond where the water body should be. On the southwest was a temple where it should be higher than the rest of the village. On the northeast is where the Shiva temple is. And then on the south, you have all the villages, all the farms and fields. So he felt that this was really a village which was perfectly planned almost according to Vastu. And of course, Swamiji has to be born in such a village. He cannot be born in anything less than that to be who he is and to guide all of us. So first, I think that is my privilege to be involved and worked with Manjakudi and Aim for Seva. You know, in Manjakudi, when we start Aim for Seva, I think many of you know and have been so greatly supportive of all the initiatives. And I must thank each and every one of you for all your support, without which I don't think we could have reached this far. Thank you so much, Srini, for getting us the support and helping us to carry it on further, Pujya Swamiji's vision. Thank you. Coming back to Manjakudi, when we started work there, when Swamiji just announced in 2000 that when he went to the village, we are going to have a college. Because somebody asked him and he said, yes, we will have a college next year. You know, in 2000, he announced it. And in believe it or not, we had no land, we had no money, we had no building. But in 2001 June, we did start the college. It's again all Swamiji's grace. How it happened, even now, it's like a dream, because if you look at it, he was, it was, you know, people came forward, they did the application and all the formalities, the documentation. Somebody came forward to give the land, and somebody said, here is some money, and somehow the building came up. And we started from a rented building from the school, in a school where we had about 6 rooms. We started the college there, and within 4 years, in 2004, we moved to our new campus, and from there we have not looked back. And today we had a first batch of 220 students in the college, and in that 5 years, today we have about 1,700 students in the college. And in the journey of the college, we've also started a matriculation school. We started a Veda Pathashala. We then somebody came forward to hand over a government-aided school in Manjupudi. And then we have the Chatralayas. So, and an Ayurveda clinic, and then organic farming. It is literally, Manjupudi has grown organically. But while I say it has grown organically, it has also, it looks as though the whole thing was already pre-planned and somebody was guiding it to happen. So I would say today Manjupudi has all the elements that make up for an ideal village. It's organic, with the large-scale organic farming, large-scale in context to Manjupudi. Manjupudi is a small village with 256 acres. That is what constitutes Manjupudi. And the population even today is about 1,500 or 1,800. But we cater to nearly 5,000 students coming from nearly 120 villages from all over to study in Manjupudi. And imagine in a small village in India, in Tamil Nadu, where we have a government-aided school, where we have a matriculation school, and we have a college. I think this is nothing short of a miracle because of Swamiji. As we were starting this programs year after year, we used to have convocation in the college every 5 years or 4 years. In the course of this time, and Swamiji, I requested Swamiji to come and give a talk to the graduating students, and that started in the year 2005. From then, we kept that as a time when we would have also some music, so that we could showcase classical music to people of this region. As we all know, the whole Tanjavur region was home to the revered trinity of Dikshita and Tyagaraja and Shyama Shastri. So, and music was very much there in every village. Swamiji used to always explain in some of his talks how he learned music, because there was a Bhagavatar next door who would start his sadhana early morning, and that's how Swamiji picked it up. Then there were any weddings in the villages, they would have a kacheri for 2 days or 3 days, and Swamiji would go to those villages and listen to this music. And that's how he developed his interest in music. And so this whole area, the Kaveri Delta, was so known for its culture in terms of art, fine arts, and its performing arts, music, literature. That, unfortunately, over the years, somewhere it migrated into the cities. So for the last 30 or 40 years, there has been hardly any, what shall I say, a formal music programs in the villages. So I thought this, in Manjupudi particularly, I don't know about other villages, but in Manjupudi, since we had the facility, and thanks to so many generous donors, we had a very good auditorium. Although we said we would start presenting classical music. And when we started that, I think it was when in about 2009, when I approached Srimati Bombay Jayashri Ramnath, whether she would be willing to sing for our students and share her music. So that was the first time, and Swamiji was very much there, and it was one of the most beautiful concerts, the most melodious. Even today we have the recording and I do listen to it once in a while. And she was brave enough. In that time in 2009, we did not have an auditorium. We converted the college quadrangle into a kind of a makeshift auditorium, but she braved it and she sang absolutely delightful. And after that, I think we had a kind of a music. I was kind of encouraged when I saw students listening, at least to some extent, take home what they wanted. So I thought, why not we have workshops, have some of the musicians to come and talk to the students. In one such session, Jayashri ji was very kind to spend a few hours with the students. And the rest, I think she will have to say, but our students were very, very thrilled. And again, suddenly, sometime in 2013 or 2014, when she said, when Jayashri was so kind enough, and she said, I would like to conduct a class for the students in Manchakudi. And when she said that, I was surprised. How would she come? Or with a busy schedule, how would she come to Manchakudi, and how often can she come? Maybe once in a few months. That was the first thought which came into my mind. And then she said that it would be every week. And I just wondered, how would she do that every week? But she said she would do that. And then, you know, of course, every day there are trains coming in from Chennai to Kumbakonam and driving from there to Manchakudi. But then somehow one will led to the other. And on April 22nd, 2014, with the blessings of Swamiji, we started that first music session at Manchakudi. I think that is really a musical letter day for as far as Manchakudi is concerned. I cannot imagine in any other village will be so blessed. It's all thanks to Swamiji and Swamiji inspiring Jayashri ji and Jayashri ji choosing Manchakudi to come. It seems so easy now when we trace it back, but every point it was a miracle. And then what started in 2014, April 22nd, it never stopped. It is now 7 years, and every Friday, I thought, you know, maybe 2 Fridays they would come and then it will slowly peter out. No, whether we forgot or not, Jayashri students were there every Friday morning at 6 o'clock at Manchakudi. And the classes would start at about 9 o'clock. And then the college students joined. Then the Manchakudi government school students joined. Then the matriculation school students joined. Then the Semmangudi school students joined. There are about, I think, 300 or so students now, over 7 years, have been exposed to excellent Carnatic music. I mean, this is something, nothing short of a miracle. Really nothing short of a miracle. And if not for the corona, and I think that is of course online, but if not for the corona, they would have continued even till today. We would have had Jayashri's music there. I don't know whom should I thank first. Should I thank Swamiji? Should I thank Jayashri? Whom should I thank? I don't know. I think I thank both of them in some way as my musical guru in some form, and Swamiji for being the inspiration. And that's how I think Manchakudi even today is unique in the villages among that Kaveri Belt Delta to be able to welcome and host and expose children to our rich tradition of music. This is something extraordinary. Srini, thank you very much, Jayashri ji, honestly, for being part of our journey to Manchakudi. Thank you so very much.
Thank you, Sheila ji, for sharing some wonderful insights. To be very frank with you, I learned quite a bit today, and getting to know all the details of how Jayashri's musical journey also started with respect to teaching our aim.
Just one more point was the students' reaction. When Jayashri comes, you should see the stars in their eyes. Literally, they look at her as though she's, they worship the ground she walks, literally. One girl went so far as to say, Akka, I want to always be with you.
That says it all.
And one coconut seller's daughter said, I want to come to Madras and be with Jayashri and start a musical career. Dedicate my life to music is what she said, honestly. And she sings very well too.
Wow.
All thanks to Jayashri. Thank you.
Thank you, Sheilaji. Thank you for sharing and opening up today's session. It's a very unique event that we have planned. And with on behalf of Sheilaji, on behalf of Aim for Seva USA and for Aim for Seva India, I now have the privilege of inviting Bombay Jayashri Srinath to be with us. And before that, happy Holi to all of you. Hopefully this year is colorful and peaceful and being a healthy year. And speaking of Bombay Jayashri, we are so fortunate to have her with us today. Thank you, Jayashri, in the beginning itself for accepting our invitation. And on behalf of Aim for Seva, Global Aim for Seva, we'd like to congratulate you for getting this prestigious Padma Shri Award from the Government of India. And this year, on January 26th, Jayashri was awarded for her musical Seva to the community. And so I welcome you all and congratulate you, Jayashri, for that.
Thank you so much.
I'm going to request you, since you are here, to start this event with a small Ganesh bhajan.
Vigneshwaraya Varadaya Suripriyaya Lambodaraya Sakalaya Jagat Hitaya Nagananaya Shruti Yagya Vibhushitaya Gauri Sutaya Gananath Namo Namaste.
Thank you, Jayashri. That was lovely. What a way to start this samvad with you. And so we have about 3 or 4 sections of the event today. The first section of this conversation is about Jayashri's journey, the musical journey. The second section is about her interactions with Pujya Swami Dayananda Saraswati himself. And the third section, which is one of the highlight of today's event, is her musical seva to our children of Aim for Seva in Manjakudi, as Sheilaji elaborated on that. And the fourth section is, if we have time for Q&A, and there are some people who are waiting to ask some questions through chat. So I request all of you to put whatever the questions. Only if time permits, we will have those questions answered. So, and in between, we'll probably have, I will be going through some detailed questions to Jayashri. So the first question, Jayashri, is tell us a little bit about your musical journey till today.
My namaste, namaskarams to everyone who's here. My respected, revered pranams to Pujya Swamiji, who has made it possible to make me part of this very, very eventful morning or evening, as it may be. My pranams to Sheilaji for her kind words and for making me part of the wonderful vision that only she can have. And thank you, Srinaji, for inviting me to this beautiful event. I was blessed to be born in a family where music was the breath for everybody. My parents taught music to many students. I remember waking up to my father's sadhana in the morning at 4 a.m. I remember being surrounded by students whom they taught all day, both my mother and my father. And I remember slowly dozing to sleep with music around me. Very early, when I was about 7 years old, I had the good fortune of being part of a Bala Vihar class in Chembur in Bombay, in Uttam society where I grew up, under the guidance of Srimati Savitri Mani, whom we addressed as Hari Om Auntie, because she taught us to greet everybody saying Hari Om. So we went on to say Hari Om, and then we went on to say Hari Om Auntie. And even today in my address book, I have her name as Hari Om Auntie. So she's the one who introduced me to that Bala Vihar session week after week. On Saturdays and Sundays, we would congregate in one of our homes where we were taught simple bhajans. We were introduced to the stories of the Ramayana, the Mahabharata, slokas from the Bhagavad Gita, little parts of theater, dance, art. So my childhood was surrounded by friends, teachers, and people who kind of fostered the arts and infused those arts in our young minds. This is the beginning of what I may call a beautiful, beautiful grace from Pujya Swamiji's initiative, which then came to me through Hari Om Auntie, Srimati Savitri Mani in the Bal Vihar class.
So, Jayashri, thank you for sharing with us. And yes, we have Savitri Mani Auntie being part of our Rashtra Vidya Gurukulam here in Salisbury, Pennsylvania, where she comes here and stay with us for nearly 4 to 6 months in teaching our children. And on request from Pujya Swamiji, she has been doing for many decades. And I'm sure a lot of people in the audience here are familiar where their children got an opportunity to learn from her. So thank you for sharing that insight. Are there any, were you surprised or were you taken back by this Padma Shri award, Jayashri?
I was very grateful, Sriniji, and I was very happy. In a way, awards are something that kind of give you a spring in your journey. It also comes with a lot of responsibility, as it comes with a lot of acknowledgement. And I realize with this award that one has to do so much more. When one is recognized, one is appreciated, and one is acknowledged for the work one has done. And it was truly a very, very, very grateful moment for me to thank my gurus, my parents, and every little aspect or every little person that has helped me to make me what I am today, in what I do, in what I sing, and the person that I am.
Okay. And who was your first guru, Jayashri?
I started to learn from my parents, who were both music teachers. And then I went on to learn from Srimati T.R. Balamani Amma, who taught in Bombay. I learned from her for about 12 years. And then when I moved to Chennai, I started learning from Shri Lalgudi Jai Raman sir. In Bombay, I was also exposed to other forms of music, Hindustani music. I learned from K. Mahavirji, Jai Purwale, and Ajay Pohankarji. And there are many, many other teachers who have shaped me, who have taught me, who have indulged me in sharing their knowledge, sharing their aspects of training and music with me. So I have a string of teachers, young and old, who have taught me and helped me in being what I am today.
Okay, thank you, Jayashri. And we see that in whatever song, whenever you sing, you bring an emotion, a devotion in us. How is that? And you certainly differentiate from some of the other singers that I see, that you naturally bring that emotion and the devotion especially. So can you share some highlights of, do you feel that all the time when you do all kinds of concerts, or even formal, informal? How is that? I see that all the time in you. Can you just elaborate on that a little bit?
Well, I think I'm grateful that I have been all along the line taught by very great teachers that music is nothing but emotion. Music is bhava, which is what we are. And through notes, through ragas and phrases, we are able to convey a certain kind of emotion, whatever may be the ragam, whatever the sahitya. It is a conversation that one has with oneself. It's a conversation that is enabled because of training from great gurus that one then starts to have with the Supreme Being. And this conversation had consistently, day after day, over the years, kinds of shapes you to be grateful, to surrender to that oneness, surrender to that overpowerful being that connects all of us, brings us together in music, in good work, in everything. So all of this and more is what is transpiring in my mind, in my being, as taught to me. And I feel only grateful that it has been taught to me, and some of it I'm able to emulate through my music.
Thank you. I think it is a blessing of Lord Saraswati herself on you to bring that emotive devotion to all of us. Thank you for your musical journey, and we wish you many more awards and recognitions in your career. Now let's move on to the second section, which is, when did you first meet Pujya Swami Dayananda Saraswati?
I was part of the Bal Vihar class from the mid-70s in Bombay, and Hariom Aunty would invite Pujya Swamiji to be part of our important events in Uttam Society as the chief guest. So we would have an evening to celebrate the annual event filled with music, dance, theatre, Gita chanting, lot of bhajan, satsang, and Swamiji would always grace the occasion. So I was one among hundreds of Balavihar students who was part of that very regular annual event. Very gradually, we started then visiting Sandipani Sadhanalaya in Powai, Bombay, to spend the weekend with Swamiji week after week. And Swamiji would then recite many shlokas from the Bhagavad Gita. He would teach us simple bhajans. Our early mornings and evenings were spent in the temple on top of the mountain. He would teach us stories from the from the Mahabharata, from the Ramayana. So Swamiji was like someone we would run to, like we would run to our mother, except that we were hundreds of us clamoring for his affection, his love, his attention. And he always had a kind word, an important message to tell each of us and share with us. So this is how in the mid-70s, I had the beautiful, the grateful moment of meeting Pujya Swamiji.
Okay. Are there any special anecdotes that I'd like to share with us in your early days of meeting with Swamiji?
There are several. Swamiji was very, he would find the child with the right aptitude for the right thing. So he would like pick us up from the back row or the fourth row, saying, here, come up and sing something. He would tell somebody else, come, you have to concentrate on Gita chanting. He knew perhaps who had to do what and who had the aptitude for what. So I remember one such event when he picked me from the back road and he taught me the song Shambho Shankara Sadashiva, which it remains a very, very important bhajan or a simple song in my life, which I always sing in any event. Um, Even after that, several times when Swamiji was visiting us as a chief guest or for the annual functions, he would particularly point out how one gets better at a particular a theater act or a dance or what music. So he had a very, very insightful way of encouraging everybody with a warmth, uh, trying to bring out the best in every child that was there in the Bal Bihar class. And I can only say how truly blessed I feel for those moments in childhood, which I still remember very, very vividly.
Thank you, Jayashri. Do you mind, singing the first song that he taught you as a bhajan for
Of
at
course,
least a few
yes,
lines?
of course. Shambho Shankara Sadashiva Sarveshwara Mam Pahi Prabhu Jagadishwara Mam Pahi Vibhu Pahi Prabhu Mam Pahi Vibhu Pahi Vibhu Mam Pahi Prabhu Pahi Prabhu Mam Pahi Vibhu Pahi Prabhu Mam Pahi Vibhu.
Thank you, Jayashri. That was lovely. And thank you for sharing that. This was the first bhajan that he taught you personally. And what a blessing. Now, was it only in the childhood that you were meeting Swamiji when you were Balavihar, or were you meeting him often also later part of your life? Can you share some of the anecdotes there?
So, like Sheilaji very beautifully surmised that it was like always, it was ordained, and there was a script somewhere the universe had written. So much that even after I moved to Chennai, or even in between all these years, there was always an opportunity that I could go back to Swamiji, and there were events almost dotted through my life. I had the blessing to seek his grace, meet him, speak a word or two, for him to inquire what I am doing. And when I moved to Chennai to learn under my great Guruji, Malgudi sir, I don't know from where Swamiji kind of traced my home number, and he called me up to say that he felt very happy that I was in Chennai and that I was going to pursue my classical training in music from a person he admired, whose music he admired, and he on the telephone he sang for me one of his favorite varnams, which is Charukeshi Varnam, composed by my guru. So there were always, my journey has been dotted with Swamiji's grace until when I visited Manjakudi in 2009 to render that concert in his presence.
Thank you. Just for the audience, Swami Dayananda Saraswati is also well knowledgeable in the classical form of arts, like the music and dance, and he had a great admiration for all the musicians. And especially, I'm so glad that Jayashri, you had the good fortune of being with him for many decades and to get his blessings. And not as a guru, but also as an admirer of music and one who would appreciate all the good things and the caring for you. That's what I want to mention. A special care for you, to guide you, make sure that you're in the right direction, and And that I feel that that's a great blessing to be in his association. Somebody asked a question, was it Rag Lalit, this Shambho Shankara that you sang? So
It is in Ragam Shubha Pantuvarani.
sure. Okay. Thank you. Also, so how long have you known Swamiji? Was it something that you can talk about, especially during his last days? I know Manjakudi was a breakthrough in the year 2014, as Shilaji mentioned, about you getting involved in teaching music. Was he aware of that you were teaching music to the children of Manjakudi? Did you remember any conversations regarding that, Swamiji?
So I remember visiting Swamiji in Anekatti a few times when Swamiji had invited me also to perform for some of the important events. And one such time I was in the Dakshinamurti temple there, along with many other disciples. And I expressed to Swamiji that Swamiji, in some way, I would like to be associated with sharing the music that I have received from so many teachers. I would like to share the blessing that you gave me by teaching so many bhajans. I remember Swamiji just smiling and saying, yes, there will be a time for all of that. Now you seem to be moving from concert to concert. Will you be able to find the time for that? And I didn't have an answer to that. But somewhere when I returned from the trip, I knew that I had placed this small request, however ready I was, however sincere I might have been in my request, and however flawed my placing of that request to Swamiji was, I knew that his blessing, his grace would take care of it when he thought it was right time. Later, when I was in January 2014, when I went back to Manjakudi for the festival, I happened to interact with some students, like Shilaji had said, and I found something extremely spirited, beautiful, innocent in that Punya Bhumi, Manjakudi, in the children, in the eyes of the children, in the minds of the children. And somewhere inside me, that intent and that desire to be able to come back and share the music blossomed one more time. And with the help of my students, I could slowly then start the whole beautiful journey. Swamiji was aware of it, and he would ask me whenever he met me after that about what the experience is, how the children are reacting to it, what songs are you teaching them, do they like to sing all the songs? So Swamiji was very aware, and throughout he was blessing the journey.
Excellent. Glad to hear that. Before we embark on the next section of your musical seva to the children, one last question regarding Swami Dayananda Saraswati, and that is, when was the last time that you met him before he attained Mahasamadhi? Can you talk a little bit more on that one?
I was on a tour in Uttarakhand. It was a Spikmeke tour, whereas I was engaging with students from different universities and institutions. And by sheer luck, by sheer chance, again by divine design, I happened to be in Swamiji's ashram in Rishikesh that evening. And I had the blessing of singing several bhajans for Swamiji that evening.
Yeah, just to elaborate, what Jayashri is talking about is, I know she would become emotional on this, and that is on the 23rd of September, 2015, the day that Puja Swami Dayananda Saraswati attained Mahasamadhi, the divine grace brought Jayashri to Rishikesh. And just before the few minutes before Swamiji attained Samadhi, Jayashri happened to be there along with Shilaji and few other disciples of Swamiji, where she had the opportunity to sing Om Namah Shivaya and a few bhajans before Swamiji attained his Mahasamadhi at 10:20 p.m. on 23rd September 2015. That's what Jayashri is talking about. So I think you're so blessed to be at that place, to sing bhajans and chant Om Namah Shivaya as the final few moments of Pujya Swamiji leaving his body. Thank you, Jayashri, and I think it is just divine, and I could see that how emotional that you would become talking about that. So let's now move to the next section, which is tell us more about the teaching the children of Aim for Seva in Manjakudi, the music. What kind of music you do, and what kind of challenges that you face?
So for everybody who has logged in, I would like to give you a picture of the beautiful village, Manjakudi. It's a small, charming, green village. And my students and I would take the train from Chennai called Mannai Express. We call Mannai Express our third home. Our first home is Manjakudi, second home is Chennai, and third home is Mannai Express. So we get into Mannai Express in the night, and in the morning by 5 a.m. we're at Kumbakonam station. And there are these very affectionate annas who drive us in the cars and take us to the village. Once we are in the village, everybody in that little street of Manjakudi, we can see the warmth in their eyes. We can see their affection as though they're waiting for us to come. And this is not one day, it's not another day, day after day after day. They embrace us with a warm welcome. The street is being colored with kolam, rangoli. Everybody's washing the outside of their houses. This is the time we enter the village. And then we have a beautiful, simple, warm, affectionate breakfast served by the annas who take care of our food. And then when we walk into the class, the children are all like freshly showered with flowers in their well-oiled hair, with eagerness in their eyes, their minds as fertile as the land they live in. Never have they referred to a piece of paper for their music. Every lesson begins where the last one ended. It's as though music flows as mellifluously in Manjakudi as the Chora Chudamani river, along which the village is situated. Every ayah there, every teacher there, every teacher who was teaching music, whether it's the Manjakudi government school or the Shemangudi school or the teachers who coordinate the college, everybody's there with a warmth and an expression of, we want to soak in this art. And all of this is possible, of course, with the grace of Pujya Swamiji. But what I want to say here is, it's not often one gets to do work and almost immediately see its impact. It's not often that one gets to meet a woman, a single-minded person who's like a Margadarshi in the pursuit of creating this beautiful home of education, a place where children from different parts of the country congregate. And Manjakudi's testimony to what that dedicated service and coming together of a community can achieve. And when I say Margadarshi, I'm referring to Shilaji, Srimati Sheela Balaji, who has made it possible for that infrastructure to educate these children, the youth, and then employ them and provide them all the support that they then need to fly out and make it in life. And I can only say how grateful, I can never say enough how grateful I am that I'm part of her vision of this Manjakudi, to make it not just the academic hub, but to make it the cultural hub. Have there been challenges, Sriniji? No challenges ever. Because the children there, everybody there, make it so beautiful for us, for my students and I. In fact, my students and I, we are competing with each other. Can I go? Can I go? Can I go? Sometimes two of them will go, sometimes three of them go. It's mostly one of them. but we kind of draw the timetables well in advance, and everybody wants to go because Manjakudi is an experience with which they have evolved to become better human beings. Of course, better musicians, but better human beings. And it has led to, if I may use this word, spiritual evolution, though it's a very, very, very big word. I know, I don't know, even if I understand what it means. But I can see the change, not only in myself, but all my students who have loved to be there in Manjakudi. In fact, in this time of COVID for the past 12 to 14 months, the only thing we miss is our visit to Manjakudi. And the only thing we are aching for is, when will Manjakudi classes begin again? So there is absolutely nil challenges. It's only beauty. It's a place where we recharge ourselves week after week and come back. So it's a Punya Bhumi. It's all facilitated by a Margadarshi and by the love of the children and the people of Manjakudi.
So good to hear that, Jayashri, and so glad to hear that there is not much challenges in teaching these children, even though their parents may not have been exposed to the classical music. So I think that proves a point when there is an opportunity, when there is a situation, and the children are eager to learn, and the teacher is willing to teach, the learning happens. So
Yes,
I think
they come with a clean slate, and it doesn't matter that they may not have exposure to prior music from their parents or from their grandparents, but most of them are born artistic. I want to narrate a beautiful anecdote. There are many. There's one anecdote I want to really narrate so that everybody knows what I'm talking about. We were trying to co-create a song. So in Manjakudi, the roles are reversed. It's not that we are teachers sharing the music. Sometimes they become our teachers. They almost direct the content that has to be taken in the class. So there will be one child who raises her hand up and says, Akka, can we learn a song in Punjabi? Or can we learn, because in their geography text, they may have seen Punjab, or they want to learn Malayalam. And one particular instance, which I want to quote, is when I told them that let's try and write a song together. So they were all bright-eyed and chirpy, and there was a murmur in the class as to, oh, is this even possible? And there was a huge blackboard behind me. And I said, here are the pieces of chalk. One after the other, you have to come and write a line. So I gave them a particular meter. And I said, with the meter was just for a framework so that they can align their thoughts and create something. So I said, here is the meter, which goes like this. Takka dimmi ta, takka dimmi to. Something like this is what I told them. And I said, in this metric alavu, what we say alavu in Tamil, please come and write your thoughts about the moon, Nila. And before I knew, the children were running up to the blackboard, writing a line, going back, running up. And within few minutes, I wish we had a video of that whole thing for me to share with everyone. Within few minutes, there was no place left in the blackboard. That were the number of ideas, and some of the most beautiful, every idea was beautiful, but some that I remember now was, Nila yen amma vin netri pottu, which means the moon is a dot on my mother's forehead. Another one said, the Nila is that which hides the sun every night. Now, there were 100 such ideas. Now, where do these ideas come from? So what are we talking about pre-exposure to art or music? It's just that we needed to slightly kind of stir it out from that hornet's nest that was already in them, the treasure of art that's already within them. So every time they teach us that the treasures are all there, and we just need to make them flower and bud out of their being. So many, many such beautiful experiences, Manjakudi, which we are yearning to go back to week after week.
Wow, so wonderful, Jayashri. It makes me feel that I want to come and sit in the class there one day in Manjakudi when you're teaching
You're welcome.
them. So now, are there, how many children are there typically in a class?
When we started like a workshop which had about 48 to 50 children. Now we have about 300 plus children, and they are split into 4 classes. So the first class that comes is the government matriculation school, which has about 40 children. The next Chemangudi has about 35 to 40 children. The college children is a beautiful large group of boys and girls, and they're over 120. But they all sit together, they synchronize, and we try to split them into different groups, but they want to be together. And what's so lovely is that some of them come and tell me that, how I wish, Akka, we had this chance when we were younger. But never mind, these 2 years, we want to take this treasure of music before we go out into life, because we know that this is a friend that we have now acquired. They refer to music as a friend. Some of the younger children, the boys, come and tell me that நாங்க வந்து கணிதத்துல ரொம்ப நன்னா பண்றோம், which means we are better at math. Ever since we started saying the solkattu of music, we think we perform better in maths. Some of the girls come and tell me that in the evening when they light the lamp in their homes, they just sit and sing, and everybody sits around them, and peace descends, well-being descends. Now, these are not some of the things we told them about Sriniji. These are things that naturally came to them. We don't tell them, do this, practice at home. If you sing these songs many times, it's going to help improve your memory power. No, these are what they have derived out of their experiences of music. So that's why I believe more and more that all these things are originally there within us, and especially within our children. And we just need to give them that little exposure that they're thirsting for, to be able to recognize and be one with themselves, and to explore the artistic ideas, the aesthetic ideas that are within themselves. And I'm quite certain it's all possible. Like Sheilaji said, that there is a script written there. Otherwise, why Manjakudi? Why 7 years? Why is it that we go week after week for several years now? So it's a divine plan that's just unfolding, and I just feel I'm a quiet spectator.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing those special moments. I would like to share one small video, Jayashri, about it's basically demonstrates you teaching the children of Aim for Seva in Manjakudi, and you're talking about the moon. So it is a part of your Moon Child video productions. So Rushil, if you can share that video.
தங்கமணி ரத்தினமே தலையாட்டும் சித்திரமே தங்கமணி ரத்தினமே தலையாட்டும் சித்திரமே சிங்காரத் தொட்டில் கட்டி சீராட்ட நீ உறங்கு சிங்காரத் தொட்டில் கட்டி சீராட்ட நீ உறங்கு தங்கமணி ரத்தினமே தலையாட்டும் சித்திரமே சிங்கார தொட்டில் கட்டி சீராட்ட நீ உறங்கு தங்கமணி ரத்தினமே தலையாட்டும் சித்திரமே கண்ணன் தாய் மடியில் தவழ்ந்தானோ ஆயிலையில் தூங்கும் கண்ணன் தாய் மடியில் தவழ்ந்தானோ தாலேலோ லாலேலோ தாலேலோ சொப்பனமாய் வந்தவனே சுகமாக தூங்கக் கண்ணே
That was so beautifully done, Jayashri. You just, with that video, you brought us to Manchakudi, and so good to see all these children learning. And what a beautiful way that you have composed and also arranged this music and also taken a beautiful video of this. Thank you so much. And I just want to tell, communicate to the audience here, Bombay Jayashri came forward to do a cloud fundraising to build a new building in Manchakudi as part of our campus. And it is going to be a creative laboratory where we're going to teach music, dance, and other creative elements, and also build some laboratories. And I'd like to, on behalf of Aim for Seva, Jayashri, thank you so much for making this happen through your contacts and to crowdfunding. We got the funds for the ground floor of the 3-story building, and thank you so much for making that happen. And if for the audience, if anybody is more interested in this Moonchild videos, it's a beautiful collection of videos, and you can go into the YouTube and look for those Moonchild video productions by Bombay Jayashri Ramnath. So
I just want to add here, Sriniji, if I may,
sure.
About this song. It's beautifully written by Mathurantaki, who lives in Sydney, a friend of mine who is so inspired by Manchakudi. She has never visited the place, but she has just heard me narrating how and what we do there. And this entire thing was done long distance. You hear the voices of our Manchakudi children through the video, through the music. And even during these times, they kind of assembled in one home or in the school, and with the help of the teachers, Padmaka and Vijayakshmi, we recorded their voices over phone, and there was going back and forth because sometimes it was not clear. Then I wanted a different version. So sometimes they would come as early as 7 in the morning and stay on till 2 in the afternoon, so that we get the right input from them, which was then used for making the recording. And all the musicians who have made this song possible came willingly forward because they have visited Manchakudi, they have shared their music with the children. So this entire creation is not just me, it's definitely not me. It's the love and affection that has been ignited in so many people for Manchakudi. And the beauty is that the Manchakudi children have sung in this beautiful song.
Well done. It's very beautifully, creatively made video, one of the best video productions that I've seen. And thank you for doing that. I see that your son, Amrit Ramnath, is also part of the creating this this music video.
Yeah.
So we wish him good luck and best wishes.
Thank you so much.
Hopefully he follows your footsteps in, doing his musical seva to the community. For there are some questions, very repeated questions on where is this Manchakudi? Now they're all fascinated. They want to visit Manchakudi. I'm getting some chat questions. Manchakudi is a tiny village in the southern part of Tamil Nadu, and it is accessible by road from Chennai. It's about 5.5 hour drive, or you can take a train, as Jayashri said, from Chennai to Kumbakonam, and then from Kumbakonam it is about half an hour, 35 minutes drive. And it is a model village for rural education. and it has got everything. It has got a full-fledged school in Tamil medium, full-fledged school in English medium, a full-fledged college up to PhD program. It's got a Veda Padashala, it has got a Goshala, it has got a well-maintained Agraharam, and the village with organic farming that Shilaji talked about. And it has got an Ayurveda facility, and it has got 4 Aim for Seva student hostels, 2 for boys and 2 for girls. And then on top of that, we have the Wipro back office. I mean, what else? I think I need about 1 hour Zoom just to talk about Manjakudi.
Yes,
And
yes.
it is just a
Sriniji,
fascinating.
you must mention that every cow, our Manjakudi cow, has a beautiful name.
Yes.
There's
And I think,
Kalyani, there's Sita, there's all beautifully named, isn't it, Shilaji? Would you like to share about our Goshala?
Shilaji,
Not
you have
mute.
to.
Yeah. First, thank you so much, Jayashri, for your kind words. I don't know whether we deserve all of that. As I said, we are all pawns in the hand of the great master player. And I think this was all meant to happen. Like today, it's meant to happen. The 3 of us are discussing our experiences and nostalgic moments with Swamiji and Manjakudi. Before I forget, to all the audience, to everyone, please visit Manjakudi. We are most welcome to host you. And on our website, if you can mention, I think there is some place where you would like to visit. Please visit. And most important now, we have a very beautiful memorial to Swamiji called Jnana Pravaha, and where Swamiji used to spend. In fact, the last time Jayashri ji was there, Swamiji was sitting in that veranda, and when Jayashri ji and her students came and spoke to Swamiji, that has now become the shrine. And I welcome all of you. Most welcome to come to Manjakudi. And the question, Srini, what did you say? You asked me to say about?
The Goshalas, you have some beautiful names for all the cows there.
Yeah, you see the Goshala again started with Swamiji. He said he was not able to look after some of the cows in Nanakati, and they were all sent to Manjakudi. And from whatever Swamiji starts grows. That's absolutely, it's almost axiomatic. He sent me about 12 or some cows, and now today we have about 75 of them. And they're all indigenous cows. We didn't want mixed cows, so we had indigenous cows. And I thought we must give them all very nice Sanskrit names, Kalyani, Kamakshi, Kamadhenu, Nandini. So this is how we have named all the, not a number, not cow number 103 or cow number 25. So each cow has a name. And even our bulls have a name. One is Dakshinamurti, and one is Mahadeva. We have names like that. So it's a delight to see them in the morning going for grazing and then returning. It's really a delight. It's like one hears of Krishna's Godhuli time, it's a bit like that.
Thank you, Shilaji.
I miss Manjakudi. I haven't gone there for 15 or Vanavasam literally. Jayashri, I would be happy to share with you that your wonderful initiative has started work. They've done the piling. They're doing the piling now. The construction is going on. So we should be done with that very soon. Thank you so very much.
So, we come to the fourth section of the, Jayashri, you need to unmute. Yeah, Jayashri, you need to unmute. Okay, so we're now in the fourth section, the final section of today's event. And we also had the good fortune of working with Jayashri on several of Aim for Seva's productions for many years. As you know, in USA, we bring out some very beautiful classical productions. And just want to let the audience know that we have worked with Jayashri from when she directed the music, composed music for a program called, show called Megadutam. And also she did the music for a program called Meera, a dance theater production called Meera, which was done by Chitra Vishweshwaran and her students. And also done several programs in India, including a program called Ananda in Chennai Music Academy. And recently with a virtual program last year, Bombay Jayashri did the coordination of bringing a beautiful production called Bhavaye Paramatmanam. And so I just want to let you know that we are so thankful to you, Jayashri, for bringing out all these wonderful productions. And we also had the opportunity to work with her to bring out a beautiful musical video on the theme of Aim for Seva, the theme song of Aim for Seva called Bharata Desha Hitaya in the Ragam Desh, composed by Puja Swamiji. And that was shot completely with the children of Aim for Seva, children in Manjakudi. And I had the good fortune of being there when the film shooting happened last February for 2 days, and from morning 6 a.m. until evening 7 p.m., 8 p.m. And I had an opportunity to work with the Jayashri very closely. So we'll be showing that video today now. And then after this, if time permits, maybe a few questions, and then we will end the day with that. So now let us do the Bharata Desha Hitaya song sung by Bombay Jayashri. So Rushil, if you can play that video.
भारत देश हिताय भारत देश हिताय भरतादि महामति सेवित भारत देश हिताय भरतादि महामति सेवित भारत देश हिताय सेतु हिमाचल वनगिरि जन संरक्षणाय जन संरक्षणाय सेतु हिमाचल वनगिरि जन संरक्षणाय वनगिरिजन संरक्षणाय वनगिरिजन संरक्षणाय भारत देश हिताय भरतादि महामति सेवित भारत देश हिताय
tagadum tagadum ta takkadum tagadum tagadum tagadum.
आयुरारोग्य विवर्धनाय धर्म संस्थापनाय आयुरारोग्य विवर्धनाय धर्म संस्थापनाय शुभ निवारणाय सुभिक्ष परिप्रापनाय शोभ निवारणाय सुभिक्ष परिप्रापनाय दीनजन उद्धारणाय दीनजन उद्धारणाय कुरु सेवां त्वं कुरु सेवां त्वं कुरु सेवां त्वं कुरु सेवा भारतदेशहिताय भरतादिमहामति सेविता भारतदेशहिताय कुरु सेवां त्वं कुरु सेवां त्वं कुरु सेवां त्वं कुरु सेवा कुरु सेवां त्वं कुरु सेवां त्वं कुरु सेवां त्वं कुरु सेवा कुरु सेवां त्वं कुरु सेवां त्वं कुरु सेवां त्वं कुरु सेवा.
That was lovely. So thank you, Jayashri, for doing this theme song of Aim for Seva in such a beautiful way. And thanks to Indian Raga for making it live. And thanks to Sheila ji for giving all the support to make this wonderful musical videos. We have 4 of them. All of them are being produced with the background of the children of Aim for Seva in Manchakudi. And so with that, we like to open up for a couple of questions. I know it is 10:20 p.m. in the Eastern time zone here in USA, and a lot of people have worked Monday morning, but we will be happy to take just a couple of questions, and then we will call it a day here. So one question is, how do you mindfully bring the poise to your life, to a lifestyle which is reflected in your music? By Shruti Santosh. You have to unmute, Jayashri. Okay. Rushil, can you unmute? Jayashri?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. So the question is, there is tranquility and meditative nidhanam in your music. And how do you mindfully bring that poise to a lifestyle which is reflected in your music?
I think it's the blessings of my gurus. The constant reminder that we are just a speck in this large scope of things. And like I said in the beginning, music is just a form of communicating with myself, with my inner self, and thus with everyone around me. And I think the most important thing is blessings from elders, blessings from my parents, from all my teachers, from Puja Swamiji, and the work that one gets to be involved in. My involvement with Aim for Seva, with Manjakudi in the past many years has brought about a revolutionary change within me. One that helps me to surrender to every moment, to surrender to music itself, and to be grateful for this opportunity of being able to share the music. So I think all of that put together is what you may be seeing in my music. And thank you so much for that kind words.
Okay. So another question is, would the classes in Manjakudi be opened again to witness a musical journey?
Of course, it will be open again. Puja Swamiji will bless us all, and the situation of COVID will vanish soon, and we will be in Manjakudi very, very soon.
Another question, are there any online classes being taught in this pandemic situations?
With Manjakudi, we have continued to share some music, but we are waiting for times to come back to normalcy so we can go be with them and soak in that experience again.
Okay. How do you choose the music you teach to these students? Are there ragas that are associated with the students of Manjakudi, or what kind of songs do you choose to teach them? By Sindhu Vasudevan from Austin, Texas.
As a student of classical music myself, I have been trained and exposed to a kind of a discipline, a rigor, where I learned the basic swara varisais. Then one hones the voice, one hones the ability to be able to sing in different octaves, which is a very scientific approach. But Manjakudi and being with the children has also kind of helped me change my or look at my approach in a fresh way, which is I believe that every child can sing. Every person here can sing. And we must be able to create in them a desire to sing. It's not necessary that we create musicians out of every child. It's important that we create rasikas. We create everybody with an earnest desire and will and ability to sing. So with that approach, we started singing very, very simple songs. Small songs which were just like 4 lines long in different languages, Tamil, Sanskrit, Hindi, Kannada, Bengali, Malayalam, all of this. And in a few months, we can hear the echo, the chorus of so many children singing beautifully together. And children surrounded by children, the spirit is so infectious and everybody wants to sing like the other. Everybody wants to co-learn. Everybody wants to complete the line that the child next to them has left. So, like I said, the role here is completely reversed. Very often, being there in that classroom has given me the hints that this is how you must approach sharing music. This is how you must teach them next. This is the amount we must teach them. Often we go prepared saying, today we will teach them one song. But they have consumed that song so fast, even without writing it down or without referring it, that you have to teach them one more song. And in all these 7 years, like I said before, not once has a child referred to a piece of paper. They're just wide-eyed, taking the song, taking the music, the ragam, the talam with all their being. Every cell in their being is vibrating with that essence of, I want to learn this. I want to sing this. This is what I want to do. So the approach is completely a two-way approach. They have pretty much decided the road that the music sharing has taken.
Thank you, Jayashri. There's one final question, and I love this question. How do we donate to Aim for Seva? This is the question that I love. And you please go to aimforsevausa.org, or if you are in India, aimforseva.in. And if you want to donate in Indian rupees or in US dollars, aimforsevausa.org, and you can make your contribution. And that's a way that helps us to help the children. And so with that, Jayashri, if I make one request to kind of give a nice mangalam to this, we can
Sure,
request you
sure.
to do a Mangalam song or lullaby. For us, it's lullaby. For you, it is a morning, but whatever that you choose to close off the
I
event.
will attempt to render Swamiji's composition. Vandeham Sharada Visharada Jnanadam Varadam Visharada Jnanadam Varadam Vandeham Sharadam. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jayashri. Thank you so much. Thank you, Sheila ji, for being with
Thank you,
us early
Sheila
in
ji.
the morning. So, Sheila ji, if you'd like to say a couple of words as a closure, need to unmute Sheila ji there. Rushil?
Yeah, thank you, Srini, and thank you, Jayashri ji. You know, it is a matter of great pride and very humbling to me that, you know, you have been so involved in our musical journey to Manjagudi, as much as Srini has been a part of development and the movement of development of Manjagudi and Info Seva. So, and it's all the Swamiji's grace, and so many of you have joined together. This is not the work of any single human being. It is not possible. That is why Swamiji used to always say, Seva is never done singly. Seva is done as a whole number of people together. And I'm so happy and so thankful to each and every one of you too, so that you're part of our journey. And please visit Manjagudi. I believe it is truly, in a capsule, you can see all of Info Seva's, Swamiji's vision for Info Seva. So please do come. Jayashri ji, look forward to meeting you again very soon at Manjagudi.
Thank you.
And I really hope Bhagwan will allow us this opportunity to start all over again. Thank you all very much for being here and inviting me. Thank you so much. Namaskaram.
Thank you so much.
Namaskaram, Sheila ji. Jayashri, personally, thank you so much for accepting our invitation, and all the supporters, donors of Aim for Seva for making it happen. And I do have to close off with an upcoming event on April 17th. We are celebrating our new year with a young singer from Toronto, Abhi V, and he's also going to make it interactive. And I'd like to, we will communicate to you more for the USA and Canada audience on this information about the evening of music with Abhi V on April 17th. So again, I'd like to thank each and every one of you, all our donors who come in big numbers today in a very short notice to have this wonderful and unique event. And again, on behalf of Aim for Seva, I'd like to thank Padma Shri Bombay Jayashri Ramnath for being with us for this wonderful event. And we, on behalf of Aim for Seva, on behalf of the students of Aim for Seva, we like to wish good health, good prosperity, and good fortune, and a good career and good music to continue to flow through Padma Shri Bombay Jayashri Ramnath. Thank you so much.